Today I've got some highlights to share with you from a recently conducted industry survey on the attitudes to programmatic digital out-of-home. The survey explored the experiences and needs of advertising decision makers within agencies and within brands. So previously we've conducted this survey back in 2021 and then again in 2022. Today, as Gay said, I'm joined by Sab from Val Morgan, who's going to come up in a little while and provide some perspectives from the sell side, the media owner side, on these insights that we've collected from the buy side. So the full report is available to you on the IAB website. So let's get in to have a look at some of the highlights for you. So over the last 3 years, there's been a steady increase in having digital out-of-home bought by IO or direct as a significant or regular part of agency activity. And that's up to 82% this year, from 69% in 2022. For programmatic digital out-of-home, agencies continue to embrace it, but it's not yet broadly embedded as a regular part of activity. So we've got just over half of agencies use it as a significant or regular part of their advertising activity, which is up slightly from 2022. But you can see that it's evident the satisfaction from those who have invested in programmatic digital out-of-home. This is reinforcing some more frequent usage. You can see that step up there in those who are having it as a significant part of their activity from last survey. So agencies and brands are using a combination of programmatic buying methods for digital out-of-home. Private marketplaces are now the most common way to buy programmatically for both agencies and brands. And this has changed since 2022, when the most common way to buy programmatically was on an open exchange. So what's driving this usage of programmatic digital out-of-home? Data and targeting remains the #1 driver, and it's a factor for nearly all of the respondents and a major factor for 77%. Data and targeting continues to be that key driver since 2022, particularly for agencies. But prior to that, if we look back at 2021, flexible buying was actually more important. And flexible buying and operational efficiency remain key factors for attracting brands. These top 5 drivers that you can see here have increased significantly since the last time that we ran this survey. So what are agencies setting out to do with their programmatic activity? Agencies are really working their budgets hard, so they're using programmatic digital out-of-home for multiple objectives across the funnel. Increasing brand awareness, you can see here, stands out as an important objective, and that was particular amongst our larger agency groups. This has been the case in previous years and increased to 82% this year. Agencies are also using programmatic digital out-of-home for lower funnel objectives. So we've got 55% there using it for purchase intent and 37% to actually increase sales. The smaller independent agencies and the brands within our survey put greater prioritisation on using programmatic digital out-of-home for those lower funnel objectives. So if we compare this to some studies that the IAB have done for other digital formats, particularly for digital video campaigns, the objectives across the funnel here are at very similar levels to what we see up on screen here for programmatic digital out-of-home. We are seeing this year some more holistic approaches to planning and buying programmatic digital out-of-home. Most agencies are now planning activities for all out-of-home, digital out-of-home, including programmatic, within the same agency team. And those planning teams within agencies are having the most influence on participation in programmatic digital out-of-home. Here also we can see that it's being planned and bought collaboratively with other digital inventory. In particular, retail media and digital video coming up there quite highly. Important to note that agencies are calling out for standardised measurement to ensure comparability across these channels and really facilitate their integration into multi-channel campaigns. So how are agencies assessing their success? Assessment is focused on campaign delivery, so that reporting of audience and impressions. And aligned to those objectives, we can see that digital brand lift tools play a really important role. There is an opportunity for digital out-of-home buyers to explore more holistic measurement tools that assess the effectiveness in context with their other media activity. So tools such as market mix modelling and cross-screen brand lift are currently deemed less important here for assessing digital out-of-home compared to what we've seen in other surveys for other digital advertising formats. For example, for digital video, market mix modelling and cross-screen brand lift come up higher on this list of important tools. So the last slide I have here for you is about the opportunities for growth. So more education and experience is needed to supercharge the usage of programmatic digital out-of-home. So we can see in the survey that understanding has certainly improved, but it continues to be the biggest issue that prevents it from becoming a larger proportion of ad volume. The positioning of non-guaranteed also continues to be an important issue, along with our measurement aspects, such as understanding that cost versus benefit, having evidence of effectiveness. So certainly, lots of respondents there calling out for case studies. So definitely, we should be able to help them out there. So I'm going to invite Sab to come up now. Grab a microphone and give us a little bit of insight from the media owner side and some context to some of these results.
Thanks, Nat. Hello all.
So Sab, firstly, just some overall reactions to the study first off.
I think the results are very encouraging, to be honest, and it's reflective of some of the good work that collectively we've all been doing over the last 2-3 years. Be it publishers, be it platform owners, both on supply and demand side, be it agency partners, and also industry bodies. So, and we're seeing this even in terms of the growth of programmatic spend as well. So collectively, it's a good start, and miles to go, acknowledging that as well.
Yeah, lots of hard work.
I know.
So we can see investment in digital out-of-home via IO and programmatic. Still got some room to grow there. How do you see investment in those two methods playing out in the next?
Pretty interesting data point, isn't it? Like for anyone who's been in programmatic for a long time, I'm sure you'd have encountered this question of direct IO versus programmatic. What is best? What is good? I think the agencies have had the final word. Agencies are looking at this as a distinct buy types, and they look at it based on what the objective at hand is. So for anyone who's in programmatic plagued by this question, I think you've got a ready slide out there that you can put into your deck. And for anyone who's working in direct IO, I think you should speak to your programmatic teams. Generally nice people, we love you. Trust me, we do.
In terms of the drivers, we've got data and targeting, flexible buying really driving the agency's activity. Is that what you see from a media owner? Can you give us a little bit more context on those drivers?
Absolutely agree. Data and targeting. I can actually quote VMO's example, especially last year. Probably more than 80% of our campaigns have had data and some sort of targeting around it. I think actionable data is what agencies are wanting, and the best story of, or best part of programmatic is that you can integrate systems like whether data or creative or verification And I think we're going to see more of actionable data audience packages or audience products from publishers this time. I can say we are working on some of those products. I'm sure we're not alone. So I think that will be one of the biggest driver. The other one, I think, is the age-old, how much supply do we have? I think over the last 2 years, there's been increase of that supply in programmatic. But I think there's more room to grow.
Yeah, we definitely saw that in some of the verbatim comments through the survey as well. So digital out-of-home, we can see, can address objectives, throughout the funnel. What are you seeing your clients do, and where are they getting success?
So the good news is that you're seeing spends across the funnel. That's very good news. The skew of that spend is really based on individual agencies and where they are in terms of their programmatic adoption journey, what formats they use, what campaign types they work on. Like, is it omni-channel campaigns? Is it standalone programmatic? So all of this determine the skew of spend. If you ask me an average, I kind of think a large sizable portion of budget still goes on to tactical performance campaigns on programmatic out-of-home. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. You're seeing,
yeah. And is that a factor of current economic conditions, or you think that's something that's...
Not necessarily. I think the buyers are taking advantage of some of the data targeting, that they have, and so on and so forth. So I think tactical activation is much easier fit, and thereby you're seeing that. I'm sure it'll change. I'm sure that certain agencies are looking at both based on the formats and, like I said, what campaigns they're activating and stuff.
Yeah, awesome. So we've got a few opportunities to work on to help the industry grow. Yeah. What are some of the key things that media owners and our industry groups are working on to address some of those challenges?
I think I'm going to be an absolute sales guy and only hear opportunities for 2024 and answer that question like that. I think the number one opportunity is the launch of MOOH 2.0. I think a single data source, a single source of truth across multiple publishers, across multiple formats, is going to supercharge the growth. I think as an industry, we should embrace it. We should be proud of it. We should own it. There's been a lot of work that has gone behind it. So that's one of the driver. The second one is creative. We need to do better. And I think it's not an isolated creative problem. It's our problem. And sometimes it's publishers not activating certain formats. Sometimes it's technical issues. But I think as we speak right now on programmatic digital out-of-home in Australia, 3D campaigns are possible, full motion animation is possible, dynamic creative at a screen level on tags is possible, a 15-second, 30-second audio on ad is possible, so everything is possible. So it's important for us to work with our agency partners to address their concern and kind of look at working on some engaging ads on our screens, which adds value to our clients. And the last one, trust me, you don't want Gay asking you again. Please go and do that course. 2023, I think the IAB and the group put out this foundation course. It's free. And also acknowledging the fact, I think various entities within this entire landscape are in different adoption cycles. So we need to now look at customizing these tools for them. So I think these three would drive adoption in 2024 and beyond.
And great point about good creative, because it does have a huge contribution to effectiveness. But it was good to see that creative testing was actually quite high on the list of important tools. So that's good to see.
And it's interesting, and there is option right now to test second by second creative engagement on some screens. So I think we should take advantage of it. And that's why I'm saying it's not one isolated problem, it's our problem, and we need to kind of work together, whether it's partners, whether it's agency, whether it's platform, and publishers, of course, to get this right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sab.
No worries at all. Thank you so much,
And
guys.
Thank you so much to the IAB working group as well.